They didn't disappear. They were sent away. 100,000 children, loaded onto ships, shipped across an ocean, and handed to strangers, not as guests, as workers. This is the story they buried for a century. And if you have Canadian blood in your veins, you need to stay right here. Because 1 in 10 Canadians is descended from these children, and most of them never knew it. Their own grandparents never told them, because they were too ashamed to speak. The year was 1869. London was rotting from the inside. The Industrial Revolution had pulled millions into the cities. Factories swallowed fathers. Disease swallowed mothers. And the children, they were just left, barefoot on the cobblestones, sleeping in doorways, begging outside factory gates. Some were 7 years old. Some were 5. All of them were invisible to the empire that created the conditions that destroyed their families. The British government had a problem. Streets full of poor children were bad for the empire's image. So they found a solution. Not schools, not hospitals, not family support, not a single pound directed at keeping families together. They found a boat. Over 50 charitable organizations signed on. Dr. Barnardo's, the Waifs and Stray Society, the Middlemore Home, the Liverpool Sheltering Home. They told the public they were saving children, giving them fresh air, open land, new beginnings, a future brighter than anything the slums could offer. What they gave them was a work contract. At age 8, children were pulled from workhouses, pulled from mothers too sick to fight back, pulled from fathers broken by war or injury or poverty. And here is the thing that will stop you cold. Only 2% of these children were actual orphans. 2%. The rest had parents. The rest had families, brothers and sisters, aunts, someone who loved them. They were taken anyway. They were scrubbed, photographed, tagged, like luggage. A cardboard label tied around each neck with a string. A name, a number, a destination, not a person, a shipment. Then they were walked to Liverpool docks in long lines and put on ships, the Allen Line mail ships, packed into lower decks. Some of them were 5 years old. 5. No parent on the gangplank. No familiar voice below deck. Just ocean in every direction. And whatever was waiting on the other side. Many of them had never seen the sea before. Many of them had never left their street. When the ships docked in Canada, Halifax, Quebec, St. John, the children were unloaded and taken to distribution halls. Large barn-like rooms, benches along the walls. And then the farmers came in. They walked the rows slowly. They checked arms for muscle. They looked at hands. They checked teeth. They picked, the way you pick livestock at a market. And when a farmer pointed, a worker crossed a name off a ledger. And the child was loaded onto a wagon and driven away into a landscape they had never imagined. Flat, frozen, completely foreign, with a stranger holding the reins. Boys as young as 8 were assigned to farms. Girls as young as 9 were placed into households. And they were expected, immediately, to work. Children as young as 8 were milking cows and laboring in fields from sunrise to sunset. That is not a school day. That is a full adult labor day. On a child's frame. On a child's back. With no pay. And no way home. Many were made to sleep in barns. Not fed properly. Subjected to whippings and beatings. Some girls were sexually abused. Arthur Clarkson arrived in 1907. He was 12 years old. He was placed with a farmer in Tillsonburg, Ontario. He was kept in a cold attic with no glass in the windows. Winter came. Snow blew through the gaps in the walls. It landed on his feet while he slept. His feet swelled so severely he could not fit his boots. The farmer sent him outside to work anyway, barefoot, in the Canadian winter. When he could not keep up, the farmer whipped him. By the time an inspector finally arrived and removed him from that farm, his feet were permanently deformed. He was 12 years old, and Arthur was not the exception. Arthur was the pattern. The organizations were supposed to check on these children regularly. Inspectors were supposed to visit farms, document conditions, intervene when something was wrong. That was the promise. That was the entire moral justification for shipping children across an ocean. In practice, it rarely happened. The children were frequently neglected or abused. Many were moved from farm to farm. No stability, no permanence, no one coming. Some ran away into the Canadian wilderness with nowhere to go. Some did not survive. And the letters. The children wrote letters. Carefully, slowly, by candlelight after a full day of labor. Letters asking for their mothers. Letters describing what was happening on the farms. Letters begging someone, anyone, to come and get them. Those letters were filed, stamped, shelved, and in many cases, never answered. Siblings were separated at distribution and never found each other again. A brother and sister could be placed on farms 60 miles apart. No address exchanged. No way to write. No reunion. Ever. Some of these children grew up not knowing their real surnames, not knowing their birth country, not knowing if their mother was alive. They built entire lives on a foundation of erasure. And then, when they turned 18, the arrangement ended. No ceremony, no recognition, no apology. You are 18 now. Go. Many of them had nothing. No savings, no education, no family network, no papers proving who they were. They had given their entire childhood to farms that never belonged to them, and they walked away with the clothes on their backs. When the First World War came, 10,000 British home children enlisted in the Canadian Expeditionary Force. 10,000. For many of them, the war was the only exit available from the farms where they had been placed. The only way to finally leave. More than 1,000 of them died in that war. Children who had already survived being shipped, already survived the farms, already survived the abuse, died in the trenches at 20 years old. This program ran for 70 years. 1869 to 1939. 70 years. 3 generations of British children shipped as labor. And it stayed buried. Australia apologized in 2009. The United Kingdom apologized in 2010. Canada, to this day, has never issued a formal apology. Never. The Canadian government's official position in 2009 was that it preferred to simply, quote, recognize that sad period. Recognize, not apologize. Recognize. 100,000 children, separated from their families, labeled, distributed, worked from before dawn, beaten when they couldn't keep up, silenced when they cried for help, and buried so thoroughly that their own descendants grew up not knowing they existed. These children built Canada. They plowed the fields. They milked the cows. They hauled the water. They chopped the firewood in temperatures that split iron. The country was built on their backs. And it never said thank you. It never said sorry. It just moved on. If you are Canadian, check your family tree. Your great-grandmother's silence may finally make sense. Your grandfather's refusal to talk about his childhood may finally have an answer. 1 in 10 Canadians carries this blood, this history, this wound. These children deserve better. They deserved it then, and they deserve to be remembered now. If this story hit you, share it. Don't let it die quietly a second time. Every share is one more person who finally knows the truth. Every share is a name pulled back from erasure. Drop one word in the comments, just one word, that describes how this made you feel. Because these children were silenced for a century. Your voice is the only one they have left.